So the title of this one is Unlocking Success. So essentially what it's talking about is the principles that underlie success. So in general, we use this idea that success is an effect, obviously. It's something that lies in the future. One of the fundamental principles that we discuss whenever we talk about the philosophy is that our entire experience, external, internal, is based on cause and effect. We don't allow room for things like luck or coincidence or random happenings like along these lines. Even if there are, we can even discount it for the purposes of discussion. What we're saying is that success is an effect. If it's an effect, then we need to understand what the correct causes are. This is what the philosophy, among other things, tries to point out to us, is what the causes of success actually are. So we're going to start looking into how the philosophy describes and defines the causes of success. First thing we want to talk about is this notion of productivity. What is productivity in general? Whether you're talking about your business, your own particular work, if you're a student or a stay-at-home parent, whatever it is, what is productivity generally measured by?
The amount of effort and work you put into the
amount of effort you put in, what else do you...
results.
And the results.
Yes.
So yeah, basically speaking then, productivity is this ratio of your outputs to your inputs. What do you get out of it compared to what do you put into it? And if you keep putting in less and less and less and getting the same result, your productivity is improving or increasing. Your productivity, however it's measured across whatever system or whatever domain, it's everything that's gone in and everything that's gone out. This is the thing that you're measuring, the ratio. The problem with the most measures of productivity is that we only tend to think of the external domain. So how many man hours or how many person hours have gone in? It's an external measure. How much money has gone in? How much plastic? How much whatever? We only look at the external aspect of productivity. What we've failed to do is to recognize that there is always an internal domain to productivity as well. We were discussing in one of the other sessions that we often use this phrase subjective science when we're talking about Vedanta. So science in general means a method of inquiry to make the unknown known. Right? So if I'm investigating or inquiring into biological systems, that makes the science of biology. If I'm investigating into physical systems, that gives you physics and so on and so forth. These are all external sciences. Vedanta is the internal science in the exact same way. It's a method of inquiring into the unknown to make it known, but this time the domain of inquiry is the inner dimension of the personality or the inner dimension of experience. So this is why this is such an important measure, because anytime we're measuring productivity, we have to take the human domain into account, because it is the human domain that puts the causes in, and it's the human internal domain that experiences the effect of the action. It's interesting that we may measure how much money we're making, or how many buildings we're putting up, or how many widgets we're creating, and so on and so forth, but that's irrelevant without there being a human person to experience those results. Why do we not put the human measure into our measures of productivity? It seems absurd when you look at it that way. So you wouldn't say, for example, that I'm highly productive in my work because I'm putting in this much time and resources and getting all of this. Let's say you're just measuring money, just to keep it a simple measure. I'm putting in time and effort, and I'm getting a large amount of money, but I'm miserable. I'm angry all the time. I can't control my emotions. I can't sleep. My relationships at home and my family are breaking down. I'm highly productive. No one would say that they are productive when they look at that entire measure. But if you only look at, say, I put 20 hours a week into my work and I make $10,000 a month, that looks like a highly productive activity. We've missed the most important domain of measuring productivity, which is the inner personality. And it's the inner personality that also puts these causes in. And so anytime we're thinking about productivity, we need to understand the human dimension, the internal dimension. And so this is where we have this little diagram on the right-hand side. This is what we've covered elsewhere. The physical body is the thing that you see in the mirror. It's the thing that actually does the actions that we're looking to do. The mind and the intellect refer to the inner dimension. Okay, so the mind is, as the list says, it's the non-rational part. Feelings, emotions, impulses, preferences. The intellect is the rational part. It's the part that thinks, reasons, judges, decides. It gains insight. So anytime we're talking about insight and wisdom, it's the intellect's capacity to see things as they are. This is the internal part. So this is the platform that we want to start from, that when we're talking about productivity, when we're talking about success, what we're going to be looking at is the internal component of the action.